Good morning. Hello, good morning everyone. It's super early for me. How is everyone today? Let me fix my crazy lopsided hair. So, Tinker's Cart Art. This is my craft around the clock segment. Good morning, you guys. Thank you for popping in at this early hour. And we're going to continue on painting some Valentine's things. So, I'm Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art. You're seeing me live on my Tinker's Cart Art page. And you're also seeing me on Craft Around the Clock. Good morning, Debbie. I love the Craft Around the Clock group. I hope you do too. I hope you're in there. It's fabulous. We have look at early morning crafting till late at night. Every day, every 45 minutes on the weekdays, and some cool events on the weekends, and some fun events on Fridays. So watch for the cool Friday events that are coming up. So I have something I've been dying to paint, and I want to do a spin, a Valentine's Day spin on it. I found these at the end of a neighbor's driveway. There were two chickens this size and one little one, which I just love the little guy. They're cute as can be, right? They're cute the way they are, but I want to change them up, so we're going to paint them up. Hey, Nance, good morning, and Sharon, thank you. So I haven't thought about it too much, but I want to do it maybe in Valentine's-y colors, maybe add some little hearts or polka dots or something fun. Where I have 3 of them, I may paint them up for different holidays. Maybe we can do a St. Patrick's Day one next. Hi Tracy, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you. So what do you think? I think we'll do one as I have 2 this size, like I said. I don't think we have time to paint both of them, but let's do the big guy. And then I think we'll do another big guy for Patty's Day, and then, oh, they'd be great for Easter too. So we'll decide. Let me know what you guys think. Say hello. Hi, Tamara and Cindy. Say hello. I'd love to see who's here, and I'd love to see if you're a new face and new to my page. Let me know, and welcome if you are. So let's jump in and let's start getting it base coated. It's just simple acrylic paints. I'm using my craft paints. Use whatever you have. Let's just pick out some Valentine's colors. I've just got my color palette out here. I've got some pinks and some reds. I put the greens out because I may do a little rose or a little flower or something, maybe on the base if there's room. Judy, good morning. Hey, Denise. I know you're not a newbie, so I love it when I see my my peeps turn up, and it's so fun. So I'm just going to use a flat brush, flat acrylic, not an expensive brush, and we're going to start just painting him, her. Him or her. Is this a rooster maybe? Then maybe it's him then. Maybe it's a rooster, not a chicken, I guess. Any opinions on what I should do, let me know too. I love to kind of just jump on and kind of think of something fun to paint, and I would take direction if you guys have ideas too. Hi Denise from Texas. Newbie, welcome. Thank you so much. Look, we have 2 Denises right in a row there. I'm so glad you're here and found us. I would love it if you like to paint or craft. I am mostly a painter, but I love to craft as well. I always have. Ever since I was a kid, I've been making things out of things. And it's kind of like a fun hunt these days to find things to repurpose and paint on. I do a lot of fine art. I do canvases. I do a lot of plein air painting. But I love to craft, and I love to find odd things to paint. I think this is... would I put this under my odd things to paint category? B. Walker, good morning. Elizabeth, thank you very much. I would appreciate it if you guys would just, just click on my page and give me a follow if you're not there. And also just let your friends know. And because it's funny, this is such a fabulous community. I want everybody to know about it in the Craft Around the Clock group. So if you have a friend that's crafty or artsy and does not know about us, please share our information, and they could craft along with us. So let me know in the comments if you are more of just a crafter or a painter or both, or if you're just a crafter and you want to get into painting. Let me know, because I love to teach beginners, absolute beginners that have never painted before. Irma, oh, well, you're welcome. Welcome here. I love Phoenix. I love Arizona. I've gone out a few times with my plein air group to paint out in Arizona, and it's fabulous. Being from New England, such a different landscape. I was fascinated by the desert, and I love it, and I love to go back and paint some more. I love the saguaro cactuses. They were just so cool. So all I did was go over, and you can kind of see the original as we go, because here's the little guy. So it was more of like a pinky brick red kind of. I just did it a really bright, like a quinacridone magenta, kind of a nice bright pink. His beak can maybe stay that way. Let's just leave his beak that way for now. And let's just get the colors on the body. Oh, be snowing there. Yeah, I moved from New England recently to Florida, and I still have a camper up in Maine, which I just can't even believe. Have you seen the pictures? And it's just places where I've painted out, plein air painted, and it's just water. It's like there were streets and shops, and it's just water. I think they've condemned 9 homes on the beach in Wells where I have my place. It's really sad to see all that flooding and whatnot. Nancy, I found them on a neighbor's yard, like out front, because they were giving them away. Aren't they cute? They're wood, cute metal little arrow here. So yeah, I just was driving by and saw them, and I thought, oh my God, these are so cute. I'm gonna do a pink body, and I'm gonna go like right over his eye and everything. That's the great thing about repurposing. You can change it up however you like. You can embellish it with, you know, say I want to glue buttons on or ribbon or something. Just kind of use your imagination, and anything goes. If you follow me, you've seen some of the things I've painted. Ice skates, what else do I, ukuleles, all kinds of fun things. I have a denim jacket here. I want to do a painting on the back of that. That's in my little stash of things to paint. I have a big wooden, I've painted some wooden nutcrackers. You probably saw them. I have one big, like, door hanger size flat, a little dimensional with the pieces glued on nutcracker, which I'm going to paint him up as a Valentine's thing too. So, seems like we just popped out of, actually, it seems like I just got done painting Halloween, and then we went into Christmas, and look at now, we are here for Valentine's Day in spring. Thoughts. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for watching. Lisa, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you here. I've got lots of my followers here, and I've got lots of newbies, which is so cool. I love to see new people finding us. So yeah, put in the comments, because if I don't see them now, I'll look at them for sure later. If you, what your specialty is, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite craft or art? I'd love to hear what you're doing. Like I said, I'm a big painter, but I love other things. And I love discovering new crafts. You know how when you think you've done it all, and you have all the stuff for all the things, and you find something new? Isn't that the coolest thing? Hi, Tony. I love all kinds of crafts, so I want to hear what you like to do. I'm just going to paint the front of this chicken today. I'm going to finish the back the same way, but we'll just paint the front this morning. Tanya, good morning. And Tony, hi everybody. It's so good to see you all here. Early morning risers. I usually come in on Mondays. I had something planned, so I'm here on the Tuesday morning. I mix it up a little bit. You know, it depends on when I get a spot. But I do love to see you every week. But I try to pop on other times too, so if you're on my page, you could see what I'm up to. I like to make painting easy and simple. Even if I'm doing a painting and you look at it and say, oh, that's too hard, I can't do that, I can't paint, I can't draw a straight line, blah, blah, blah. You can. I take it simple, step by step for you through the process, and you can do anything at all you put your mind to if you have somebody to show you easily, step by step. Seriously, I mean, I can't change my oil in my car, but if I had to, I could watch a video and do it step by, if someone was patient and did it step by step. Not that I'm going to be doing that anytime soon, but I could, right? Oh gosh, we got lots of Nancy's here today, and nice to see you guys. What a great group for this early. I know we're in different time zones too, so it might not be quite as early, or it could be even earlier. So, good morning. I'm not a pink girl so far as like pink and wearing pink and all that business, but I love pink, and I love pink and teal together. That's been my jam for a while now, but I do love it. So I've taken out some teal too, because maybe I could get a little teal in here. Maybe if I do some roses and we can put some teal leaves, maybe. It could be super simple too. It could be as simple as painting the color blocks and then just doing polka dots or little hearts, like a little quilt, you know, little pattern on the little different pieces. So really try, and even for me, I have to really try to think outside the box when I'm thrifting or yard sailing, looking at things and trying to figure out how would I change this up? How can I make it my own? So, oh, good morning, Tony. Good morning, Sharon. The little comments scroll by so fast, but what did I see? Oh, Janet. Oh, did you? Cool. See, I want to see what you paint on it, Janet. You do fabulous work. I'd love to see it. I'm going to go and I do paint a lot, even if it's something crafty like this. I try to sort of think about what is my color palette going to be. I pick color palettes that I like, and I try to use just those limited colors in my work instead of going and grabbing all colors under the rainbow for every little different bit. I just sort of like the cohesiveness of having a little bit of a color palette. So what I've laid on my palette here now I will use, but if I want to change it up, I can certainly just add each color to each, mix the colors amongst themselves here, and that is kind of cool. You come up with some new cool ideas, but everything sort of matches because you've used those same colors. So I'm using like a quinacridone magenta, it looks like, for this dark pink, and I've used it on the, I don't even know what you call the crown or whatever this business is here. And I'm going to use it again here, but I'm going to use a little different shade on that inner part of the wing. So he's pretty dimensional. He's got all these little bits glued on, and it's covering okay. Acrylic paint is not as opaque as we'd like sometimes, so I would let it dry or hit it with the heat gun and put a second coat. So use patience. Don't try to put it on real heavy to get it to cover. Just use a thinnish coat. Let it dry well, and then you can put another coat right on top of that. So, Melanie, good morning, and Melinda, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. It's Tuesday morning, and I've been dying to paint this guy, but I was waiting to come on with you guys and do it. So, we'll do that, and ideas for the others. Like I have two more, the tiny baby one and another big one. I want to do them holiday themed. Let me know what you think, what would be a good holiday, what would be good painted on them. They're pretty simple, so it'll be pretty easy. Let's go with a really light pink for this little area, and all I did was take my pink I had and mix it with white. So again, perhaps you want to get started painting, but you think, oh, I don't want to have to buy all those supplies. I don't know what to buy. What would I need? It's going to be too complicated. I make it very easy. You can start very easy with some craft acrylic paints. You only need your primary colors, really. You could mix everything, but as we know, we go in and we see all the colors and we love to buy them all. But really, you don't need a lot. You're better off with a few of the primaries. You get used to mixing. You learn a lot by mixing, and you kind of come up with your own color palette, which helps, developing your own style, really. Carol, good morning, and Jenny. Yes, I'm early today. It's early for me, but I didn't have a spot yesterday, so this is what I could get today. But it's kind of nice. It gives me the rest of the day to do things. I'm definitely, Lisa, doing a St. Patrick's Day one. You know that. You guys, some of you might know that I have retired in February last from my more than 25-year retail business of importing Irish goods and having stores in retail locations. So I'm all about the Irish things, and I have painted many shamrock designs, lots of Irish cottages over the years. So I'm all prepared for Patty's Day, of course. All right, so I do want to paint the base. I don't really like it that it looks too yellowy beige now for me. I think that might be good in a really dark maroon. So I'm going to mix that because I can never find the dark maroon I like in any of the craft paint. So I'm just mixing a little black with my red and a beautiful dark maroon color. And then we're going to go back and put a quick second coat where it needs it. I will probably hit it with the heat gun just to dry it a little bit. So a little black into my red, and let's get a nice dark maroon. Don't think you can see my color palette this morning. My palette. I sort of set up a little differently today because he was so tall, or she. Let me turn it so you can see. And move this stuff. And so just a really dark, I think that works nicely, don't you? It's just a dark maroon base. So it's not black, but I think it's going to be nicer than that speckled. I like the speckled idea on this. This is kind of a little bit of a ivory, a little antiqued with like spattering, which we do with the toothbrush. Fabulous technique if you're making snow or stars in the sky. So I may end up spattering it with a light color. maybe a light pink on top of this maroon afterwards, just to add a little interest. So let's just get this coat on there, and all of these colors will need a second coat, so we'll do that next. Thank you, Jenny. Yes, I think that works well. I think that works. And I appreciate your feedback, so please, I know I've mentioned this a lot, and if you ever wonder what you can do to help all of us creators online, simple as making a comment when we're live, sending an emoji. Honestly, you wouldn't believe how that helps us in the whole algorithm thing. And I love to get new viewers because there's so many people at home, and sometimes you can't get out to a class or a workshop or something, and to have it come right into your home is kind of cool. So let's share that. Oh, I'll get my light over here, and I just hit it. But now I almost think I should have something darker up above to blend, but I think we can maybe put some darker roses or dots or something. So let's let that dry. I'm gonna just hit this quickly with the heat gun, just to get that dry so I can do my second coat, and then we can add our little embellishments and things. So just don't mind the the noise, but anyways, just take a second. Okay, and I'm not worried about the base drying so much. That'll dry as we paint up here. So, so I think it's a little early to put my Valentine's decorations out. I have others. It was so sad when you take all the Christmas down and it's a little bare. So what do you think about, when do you guys think it's, I've seen people have Valentine's out, but I think it's a little early. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit, maybe a couple weeks. I don't know, whatever you guys do with your Valentine's things. Now, I don't even mind on the top bit that I can see through it a little bit and see the speckles. It kind of gives it a little something. But I do want to do my the body of my chicken over a little bit with just a second coat here of this pink. I don't mind the base color showing through a bit. It's kind of an antiqued, distressed almost looking piece. So I'm going to just put a quick second coat, and then we'll see how that looks, okay? So I could actually use a bigger brush for this, but this is in my hand. So we'll just do that second coat. And like I said, this is just I like the Deco Art Americana or any craft paint you have. I use Liquitex fluid acrylics for a lot of colors that I can't find in the craft paints. And if you paint with me, I certainly will. I usually give you a color palette that tells you what I'm using, but also just shows you a swatch of the color so you can match it up to something you have. I have a lot of classes over on YouTube that are free classes if you want to take a look. And if you follow my page, I like to go on and do little quick tutorials too. Hey, good morning, Lisa Marie. Thank you. Crackle Paint Janet would be so cool. That would be a blast. I haven't used Crackle in a while. Thank you for reminding me. I've been using a lot of modeling paste lately and doing some palette knife painting, but the Crackle would be so cool on this. I would definitely use it on something like this. Yeah. Oh, so the paints. So yeah, so I use some of the Liquitex acrylics, different things, but I do tell you, I do teach a lot of classes. I'm going to get myself organized and offer some more one-off classes online, because that's always fun if you want to dip your toes into it and just see how I teach and what my classes are like. But I also have an art membership, and you've heard me talk about that, and that's really fun. It's a nice group. It's an intimate, smaller group, smaller membership, a lot of individual attention, and I paint with you quite a few times every month and have a nice library of paintings for you to do, from landscapes to still lifes to animals to you name it, we paint it. So anyway, now a little bit of the darker, that was the quinacridone that I used for the darker paint. Oh, it's hiding back here. So let's grab that for the little bit of the wing there. You know what I love the look of, and I didn't know if it would work for this, but now that I look at it, it's maybe too much dimension, is, you know, you've seen the chickens painted, but in the body they have floral designs like roses and things. If this didn't have the dimensional wings, I probably would have painted a big floral on there. But let's just see what we can fit on there once we get going. Where are we at? 8:05, so we're 7. We have about 25 more minutes, so we can just get these base coats on, dry it up. We'll start adding the little decorations that we want to do on that. But already, you could already just like this sit him in a little vignette or some little Valentine's display. Yeah, acrylic paints for ceramic are great. I use my acrylic paints, Elizabeth, for everything. Even if, well, not everything, but even if I'm painting fabric, little canvas sneakers, I'm going to do that denim jacket, I use these same acrylic paints. They're not going anywhere. You know, if you get it on your clothes, can you ever get it off again? No. So it's not coming off. I know every time I paint on fabric, people ask, is it fabric paint? If I was painting maybe a t-shirt or something with a very light hand, a very soft look, I might use a fabric paint so that it's not real stiff. But anything I paint, usually fabric is a canvas or, you know, a heavier fabric, and it's fine with the regular acrylics. When I'm painting glass, I do use the all-purpose craft paints. Those you recognize because, you know, they have that little symbol on the top. So you can use these as your regular craft paints too. But you can take and paint glassware with this. Follow the instructions by putting it in your, you know, your kitchen oven, and it seals and bakes the paint on. So I would use a little different paint for my glass pieces. Shelby, hello. Oh, I probably did. I'm going to carefully, when we're off, go and touch up all, right there, all my bits. But I want to get the majority of it done so you can just see how it looks. But I'm going to go back and be a little more careful about all these little edges. Plus, I'm going to go and do the other side as well. And I'll always put pictures up of the finished product afterwards. So, but thank you. I love having other eyes on my work here because it really helps me to see where I'm going with things. All right, so I just love the colors. I think that really works. See if I can't put my hand in the wet paint. So hi Donna, thanks for watching, and Pat, look at you guys. We got a nice group this morning. I'm gonna quickly dry it again. I kind of hate to kind of take the time to do that when I'm with you guys live, but there's no way around it really. So we're gonna just dry that up a bit. Shiny finish on this, so that's why the paint's taken a little longer. I probably could have taken a little fine sandpaper and sanded it down to bring up the tooth a little bit, and the paint would stick a little better. Maybe I'll do that on the other, so that's why I'm just letting it dry a little bit. I am going to, let's put like some little decorations on the little big area. So maybe like little hearts here. I could do a little scroll around that bit. Oh, thank you, Janet. Honestly, this sort of happens. I just sometimes don't plan very well, and I just hop on and grab whatever I have and get some direction from you guys sometimes and just go for it. And then on the body something. Oh, you know what? Little polka dots here. Maybe little flowers on the body. You could keep it very simple and just leave this. I always have to go the extra mile and do some little doodads. So let's do some little hearts. I like to make little hearts in just a couple strokes. I've showed you this before. You could just do it with a little flat brush or a little round brush, and in a couple of strokes, make a little heart. So let me show you on the palette. So if I take some, I'm going to use the quinacridone instead of just red, and I'm going to do it sideways and upside down. But so if you just take a little, let's see, you can see just one stroke, another stroke. It might be a little wonky because I'm sideways, but see, 2 little strokes, 1, 2, and you can make a little heart shape. That works with a little liner brush as well. I'm going to grab some more of my red paint too in case I need it so that it would show up. I've got it right here. So let's get a little more red paint out. The quinacridone I think might be a little bit transparent, which is not a bad thing. You could see through the paint a little bit, it's fine. And, or you could do a second coat, so simple. So, all right, so let's get a little of those 2 colors. I'm just mixing the magenta and the red. And I can hold them by the wing in the back, and I'm going to try to do it this way so you can see. So I'm just going to make, it's almost like a little quilt pattern, just little hearts here. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be the same size. You don't have to figure out where exactly they're going. I'm just eyeballing where I want to put them. And that's enough for that, right? You could put little dots in between, but I love polka dots. So let's do white polka dots just on that dark section. Polka dots are simple. If you want teeny tiny ones, you can use a little stylus or a toothpick or the end of your little detail brush. You can also use the back end of the brushes, and depending on, you know, your different brushes, you could get different size polka dots. I want to do some polka dots here that are pretty good size. So why don't I just take this brush, and you need like a little puddle of nice fresh paint. You don't want it to be dried up or just a little bit. You need enough to dip your little brush into. And you can simply make your dots that way. And what I like about it, using the brush, I make a few dots, and when I start, they're bigger. And as I dot them, they get smaller. So I really like to have them like different sizes. They don't have to all be uniform, unless you want to. Now, when I should tell you guys that when I'm doing some painting in classes and whatnot, I'm showing you how I'm doing something. It doesn't mean it's the right way or the only way. I'm showing you so that you could take off from there and do it however you want. Change things up, use different methods. I love to hear how you're doing things and see your work too. So I love it when you share what you've done. But I am not there to say, oh, it has to be done just like this, and if it's not done just like this, it's wrong. There's no wrong. There's no right or wrong. I feel sad because I have some people in my membership and different people. I've just run across somebody the other day that said, oh, you know, I was always told I couldn't be an artist, or I didn't have, you know, I wasn't good at it. There's no good or bad. What's the most important thing is how you feel when you're creating, and if that brings you joy, I don't care what it looks like, and you shouldn't care either. It's the process that is important, if that makes sense. So little dots. So now we need to decide, and you can go ahead, like I have the dots there, but maybe I want to take the stylus now and make some that are little just to scatter in. That might be kind of cute. I like that look. Another thought I had for this chicken is, you know, I'm not sure the name of the type of chicken, the black ones with just the little white scallops almost. I thought that would be stunning with the black with a little bit of red heart or something on it too. But I decided actually some Valentine's decorations I have are all these colors, so I thought this guy would fit right in. I have a really cute owl, stuffed owl, fabric owl with different patches. Maybe this is what I'm thinking of when I do this, of different fabrics, and he sits, and I'm gonna maybe put him sitting next to this. So I'll finish it when I am finished. I'll take pictures, but I will also put it in a little vignette for you to see. And I'm going to get some black out because his eye has been painted over with pink. So I'm just going to make a, just go over that with black so that I can put a little highlight. I need to put a highlight in my little eyes of my animals and things, and it just kind of looks nice. So that will dry. I think I'm going to shade my beak a little bit. So let me just get a little bit of darker brown or something out. So it's a matter of just taking what you have and embellishing it and just making it a little different. And then it gets a whole new life, because otherwise it probably would have been picked up by the trash man. So isn't it better to repurpose things? Good morning, Pamela. And Rebecca, thank you. He's coming along, right? It's just, I'm going to just kind of side load my brush with some dark brown. I think it's almost maroon. It's antique maroon I took out by accident. I'm going to mix it with some dark brown. My eyeballs aren't working yet. I know I have brown here. Yes, burnt umber. Perfect. And when I do something like this, I just want to shade. I put a little wash of a darker color. I just put a little paint just on the corner of my brush. See, it's just on the corner. I'm going to pat it out a little bit. And then I can go and just along where I want the shadow, I can just take my brush and go along like that. I'll dry it off because I want to soften that a little bit. It's a little bit harsh of a line. But can you see it's got a little shadow? And I will do it across the front. I know I'm kind of ignoring the edges and whatnot, but of course I would do it across the front too. And across the bottom here to finish that off. And what I'm trying to get is like a little shadow from his head that's onto his beak to make him look, not that he's not three-dimensional, but just to look a little bit like that. Now, we probably want to divide his beak too. So let's just soften that. Take a little more brown on the corner of the brush, just like I did. And maybe just do that to sort of give him a little line in his beak. When I do my shading, then I add a little highlighting. Even on a simple little cutout folk arty piece like this, I still want to do some little shading and highlighting. Pamela, good morning. Oh, I know that so much the weather in other parts of the country is just crazy, and I've lived through all those temperatures and snowstorms and things, and I am appreciating being here in Florida. It's been a little cool for here, but I can't even say that out loud because it's so much better than in the awful flooding that we have up in the Northeast. It's just been crazy. So I've got the yellow beak just painted plain. I've shaded a little just to give it a little dimension, and look at, I can just give a little bit of a highlight there, maybe even a little highlight. Let me just do this real quick and I'll show you it. So just because I like to just side load and just do a quick little stroke, it kind of is easy enough. And does that look like it has a little more something to it? Which means now we have to put a little, a little nostril thing in the nose too. So we'll just do a little. And I do see the speckling through that on the beak. I see the speckling through the paint. I like the look. I'm not worried about putting a real solid coverage of the yellow to get that cover. I think it's fine. I want my little highlight in my eye. I might even do a little outline of white on the eye and a highlight. So let me just then, when I do any fine work like this, I just have a little tiny liner brush, and I keep my paint fluid. So if it's been sitting out a long time, I may add a little water to it. You could certainly use your paint markers for something like this, like a Posca paint marker, to do all your detail work. But always remember to let your paint dry really, really well before you go on with the marker. Tanya, oh, in Spain, 77. Well, that that's great because I just love the warm weather myself. So I'm hoping it warms up a little bit here. But I'm not complaining. It's fine. I'm going to turn this guy upside down so I can get to the eye. I'm going to simply make a little outline around that black eye. So it's a little bit of a detail work. If it's something, like I said, you think, oh, that's kind of detailed and hard, just do it with a marker or a little white pen. I have to say, the best pen I have found for working on my paintings or on mixed media or anything, if you're looking for a white pen that has great coverage, I've tried everything but the Signo Uniball gel pen, and you find them like at the craft stores, but I find them over with the markers and pens. I could write right on here and it's going to show up. Great for signing your paintings, doing little details on paper, on wood, on whatever you're using. Okay, I've got my outline, but I need to have a little, you always need a little highlight to make your little eyes come alive. It could just be a dot, or it could be a little comma, just something, just to give it like a little shine to the eye. It's amazing how much life it brings when you just don't have just a little black dot. So we could certainly, my black is a little wet, but I'm going to try to dot right on top of the wet black. So it's kind of good, yeah. So it just kind of brings it alive. It just adds a little something. Yes, Jenna, it's acrylic. I'm just using my my Deco Art and my Liquitex ordinary acrylic, whatever you have, works fine. So, all right. Okay, we've got like 10 more minutes. We need to do something on this part, and maybe I'll do some little flowers down here. But let me give that a quick second coat on the base, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do on the body there. Oops, that's a little bit lighter than what we had, but let's just do a quick second coat. And you know, we've 45-minute segments here, so we do an awful lot in 45 minutes, but I will go back and finesse things sometimes just afterwards because I want to have you see the process pretty much, but then, you know, I'll go back and I'll finish the back. So here's where we started. If anybody just came on, look at where we started. These were little chickens I found at the end of someone's driveway, and I just wanted to kind of repurpose them. There we are. Get that little second coat on there. just so I can put a little something down there. Maybe, if it needs it. We haven't even decided yet. Oh, the white pen. It's not really a paint, it's just a gel pen, Signo Uniball, but I use it over my acrylics, I use it over my mixed media, I use it over, if I'm watercoloring, I use it if I want to add a little white strokes here and there, or to sign my name. Yeah, so it's that's a great one. I just order them. If you're not near, you know, craft store or something, you can order like a pack of 3 or something on Amazon even. So. Oh yeah, Pamela, it is. I really like to stress, whether it's this or whether it's, you know, this painting we just did. I just released this recording yesterday for my membership. So it's all about the lights and the darks and the values. And I really try to hammer that home, especially in a painting or a landscape painting. It doesn't even matter the color sometimes if you have the values right. So you need those lights and darks to make the painting a little more interesting, make the objects look 3D. You know how if you have a really dark painting or dark something and you put a little bit of light in there, look at how your eye is attracted and it's very attractive. So it's a use of the lights and darks a lot of times. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do little roses on this guy. So I'm going to show you some simple roses that you could do with just a couple colors and very loose and simple, nothing that you have to struggle with. Let me get a round brush here. Maybe I'll use this brush. You could use, if it has to be a specific brush, I'll tell you, but you could use a little flat or a round for this. And I want to do a dark red. So a dark rose, and I'm going to show you it's just a blob of paint, and I spiral a little white through it with a smaller brush, and it's going to appear as a rose. Or it could be like a peony or something. It's not really specified. So let me mix up a little bit of my dark reds here. It's not maroon so much. I don't want any black in the paint, but just the red and the quinacridone magenta. And I'm simply going to not get my elbow in the paint, hopefully. You just kind of put your brush down, spiral it out, and get a little blob. Seriously. Do a few of them. I don't want to do the whole chicken because if this part dries and I go back with my white to spiral in, it's too heavy. I want the white that I'm going to spiral in, I'll make some big so you can see them, to still be wet so that I can drag it through. So let's just do that many. I can even get a little darker in. there. Let me get a little bit of maroon. I want it to start dark. When I paint, I start dark a lot of times, work into a mid-tone, and then a very light, and then that light pops. If you started really light, where would you go with the, if you started light and you put light on top, it's not going to make an impact. Start dark and put like a light on top. It really shows. So I've just got little swirls of, oops, they're not perfect. There's little swirls of like a maroony red. I'm taking a different brush, a little tiny detail brush straight into my white. And all I'm going to do is put it down right in the middle of that little circle and spiral out, right out over the flower. So put it down and spiral, and it's going to disappear as a little rosy flower. You can even just take some white and just kind of make that sort of thing. And why I do it now while it's wet is so I have some pink petals and some white petals, and it's not just the dark background and just a bunch of white on top. So I'm just going to go ahead now, I'm just going to spiral a little bit through them. And I'm going to go back and just dab in some little petals. These you can do in different colors. I'm sticking with the pinks here. And do not concentrate on them too much. That's the key sometimes, is to not make it too precious and important. Just have fun with it. Just kind of do your thing. And I'm just taking more white when I need it. When I start swirling this and it gets too pink. So there I am with just some swirled bits. And now I'll just wipe off the pink on my brush, go into my white again, and just make some little, almost like little comma strokes around. And when we add some leaves to this, and maybe even just a little dab of a dark in the middle, they're going to be like little folk art roses. They're not, of course, a realistic rendering, botanical rendering of a rose, but it's a fun little flower, a fun little technique you can use in a lot of things. Now this one does look very dark, and see how much nicer it is when it starts really dark. So let me continue and make it over the whole chicken. And then we'll put a little dark in the middle of these guys, and then we will maybe make some leaves and things, which would be cool, because, you know, we have a whole 5 minutes left. Okay, let's do this. Just simply swirling. I'm trying to, I gotta concentrate a little more on varying the sizes, because I don't want them all perfect, but we'll do some little, some big. I'm gonna work fast, so I'll do a bunch at once, but if you're just starting, just do a few at a time so that you can kind of get the idea how nice the pink looks when it's spiraled. And then with my little brush, I'm making just white paint in the middle and swirl. Sometimes I just leave it like that, depending on what I'm doing, but I really like the way it looked when I went back and sort of made petal shapes with the same brush. And I think I'm going to leave the bottom pretty plain. I think there's enough going on up here that I can leave the base just the dark. Maybe spatter, maybe polka dot, but I think I'm going to, for now, leave it and look, keep an eye on it and see what it needs. So that's kind of fun. Hello, Cynthia. Thank you, guys. Just some ideas. So just keep your eyes open when you're thrifting, and or if you do craft fairs and art shows, you might have something to set you apart, having some interesting, I mean, let's face it, they'll be one of a kind, really. No one else is going to have such things. So it's kind of a nice thing to add to your booth. So I did the spirals. Now I'm really just dipping into the white when I pick up too much pink. And I'm just going around the little rows that I made and just little comma strokes, rough, kind of, the less you think about it, the better. And then when we stand back and look at this, you're going to think roses. That's the thing too, is you guys, when we're crafting and painting, look how close we are. We're way too close to our paintings to judge it, and we are too critical of our own work. Stand way back, look at it after a while, don't dwell on it, and you're going to be surprised how you end up loving it. It might not need it, but if you needed to, you could go and put a little dark in the middle of some. Some are already got nice darks in them. So let's look at the flowers and let's throw some leaves in there because we have a couple minutes. I know it's shiny, the glare of the lights is kind of shining, but I need to put some leaves because with just a little touch of green, we've got a lot of pinks there. I did skip a couple though, hang on. Skipped a couple, let's get those little petals in there. Little square brush, 4 leaves. And I really want to get some kind of a teal. This is like a more of a jade, or it's kind of a nice tealy green. And let's see, I'm just going to mix in my greens here, get a little dark, get a light on the brush. And I'm going to just try putting some little leaves. It's a little bright. I don't hate it though. I'm loading my brush with just the green, for instance, taking the corner of the brush with a little white like we did before, and just dabbing it and making little leaves. I kind of like the way it's jumping off the pink. It's a little bit of a complementary color, so I've got a tealy green and I'm using a pinky red. With the pinky red of the roses, it's sometimes you use the complementary colors and they pop, and sometimes it's too much, you know, but sometimes it really is a cool thing. So I'm going to just make leaves here because we have only about a minute left. So I'm going to keep making the leaves. I am going to read all your comments later. If you have a question, throw it in there right now. Curvy Ladies Crafting is up next. So stick around on Craft Round the Clock because we have a fabulous day planned of crafting for you every 45 minutes. Sometimes you need to just refresh the page to see the next craft. So give it a minute, refresh the page. Let me know what you think of the chicken and let me know what we should paint on the others. So let me hold it up where we're at now. And I might go and do some little curly cues in there to tie those together. I'm not sure about the base. I like the dark, but we need to bring a little light down here. So throw in any ideas you have too. And I'm gonna paint the backside because, you know, he's gonna be double-sided. and then we're going to paint the little one, but we're going to paint next we'll paint, maybe we'll do one Easter and one Patty's Day. So how does that sound? Okay, my time is up. I was having so much fun painting with you all. I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.